What is going on, good people of YouTube? It's me, Chavez, aka Flex Friday Fernando. Today is Friday, November 10th, 2023. As always, I hope this video finds you doing well and in good spirits. Just felt like having a little fun today on this Flex Friday. We got player props to talk about today. We'll recap our plays from Wednesday, touch up on some injury news, and then call it a video. Get on with our days. That's pretty much what we're going to be covering in this video. So listen, if all that sounds good, stick around, drop a like, sub up, and click that notification icon so that you're notified of all upcoming content and videos from me and my channel. And without further delay, let us get into our plays from Wednesday. All right, started off very strong here with Tobias Harris, 7.5 rebounds and assists prop. He goes well over this one, had himself a very strong game, just looks very different in his offense under Nick Nurse. I like what we're seeing from Tobias Harris so far this season. All right, second play, we took over on 5.5 assists for Alperen Sengun. Listen, I just got to say this, okay? He went under, but what the hell is going on in the NBA when you have a team like the Rockets, who honestly over the last few years have been one of the worst organizations in the entire NBA, just destroy a Western Conference champion, Western Conference final team in the LA Lakers, destroy the third seed in the West last year in the Sacramento Kings twice, one in Sacramento and one time in Houston. They said, we're going to beat you on your home floor and then we'll just do it again in front of our home fans. What is going on when a team like that is waxing the competition? Alperen Sengun didn't even play 25 minutes in that game. He finished with 19 points, 7 boards, 4 assists. Still was fantasy relevant. He did all this in well under 30 minutes, barely over 20 minutes. That blowout really hurt his upside in terms of his assist, honestly. And, you know, I never would have imagined that we'd be talking about him not hitting his prop based due to the Rockets blowing a team out. If you would have told me that he didn't hit because the Rockets were down 30, I would say, yeah, okay, fine. But not the other way around. What the hell is happening in the NBA? We go under on this dude's assist. All right, lastly, we took the under. Marcus Smart, 9.5 rebounds and assists. He said, that's not so smart. Should have taken the over on me. Well, Marcus, you have been playing like shit in this season with the Memphis Grizzlies for the most part. So we did the smart thing. We paid attention to the odds, the projections. They all pointed to the under. And he defied those odds. So Marcus Smart spoils it. We had a chance for a 2-on-1 night going into that game, and he absolutely sprinkled some shit dust on our shit Sunday, some shit sprinkles on our shit Sunday. So 1-2 on the day. Definitely not happy about that. I don't have to tell you that I'm disappointed, but I will. I'm very disappointed in those picks. You can never win them all. And you just pick the plays that look the best to you, and you stick by that strategy, and you will win more times than you lose. However, Wednesday was a big fat loss. So we go 1-2 on the day. We move on to a new day with new picks. Before we get into our picks, let's go ahead and briefly touch up on some injury news in the NBA. All right, there you have it right here. Injury news. We got Cam Johnson is in Brooklyn. We got Cam Thomas out. So one Cam in, one Cam out. Probable Hayward, Batum, and Bradley Beal. Doubtful, we have Najee Marshall, Jake LaRavia. In addition to Cam Thomas being out, you got Book, Tillman, Simmons, and Horford all out. So questionable. You see all those names right there. Some pretty big names on that list. Also, Anthony Davis still going through hip spasms. Sengun is now on this list, as is Zion. And I don't know why I said his name like Zion, as is Zion and Zaire. Zion and Zaire. That'd be a really cool podcast. You're on with Zion and Zaire. Anyway, there's your injury list for November 10th in the NBA. Be on the lookout for updated news as things move quickly in the NBA. Now, Now, without further delay, let us now start talking about a few plays that I like for today's 9-game slates in the NBA. All right, November 10th, 2023 brings us 9 games in the NBA. I have 3 plays that I want to share with you, possibly 4, definitely 3. Don't hold me to that 4, but maybe 4. So let us now just transition over into the next few slides and start breaking these down. I want to start off with a 9.5 rebounds and assist line, and it is for Chet Holmgren. I like the over on this one as the OKC take on the Sacramento Kings today. All right, in full transparency, I have some pretty big numbers in these lines, in these props today. I'm attacking some big numbers. This is not one of them. This is actually a pretty, pretty reasonable line here for Chet Holmgren, but the next couple will probably make you like, nah, I don't want to play those. You don't have to play them. Play what you want, leave the rest behind. So, Chet Holmgren, 9.5 rebounds and assists, minus 125 odds to go over. Take a look at some projections here provided by props.cash. You can see that he is projected for damn near 12 rebounds and assists. Was on a nice little streak here going into that Cleveland game. Cleveland is back in terms of getting healthier. You got the 2 big bodies in the front court in Mobley and Allen. I didn't think it'd be an easy matchup for Chet Holmgren. He held his part. He held his own for the most part, but it's very difficult to bring down 14 rebounds and assists against those 2 dudes. But going into that game, 3 games in a row of basically averaging, that's 28, 38, 42 divided by 3 is roughly like 15, 14. So pretty good stretch of games there, and I think he gets right back on track. We don't need him to get 14, 15 today. We just need him to get 10. I think he's in a good spot to get it done. Versus Sacramento, we can take a look at those numbers. Doesn't have a game played against Sacramento, so really all we have to go on is his last 10 games. So all that's looking very strong. If you want to take a look at what opposing bigs have done versus Sacramento, we'll have to do this in a different fashion because rebounds and assists is not a thing in terms of a stat that's being recorded over on props.cash to kind of go back and review. But we can see what centers have done versus Sacramento in terms of rebounds. You had 8 and grabbed 10. You had Sengun give you 8. You had Sengun give you 9 over here. Looney with 9, 16 for Davis, 12 for Looney, and 8 for Walker Kessler. I don't care that a lot of these guys aren't going over their rebound prop, because we're looking at a combined total of rebounds and assists. So now we can see what these centers have done in terms of assists. Ayton had 2, Sengun had 12. He had another 6 here, 3 for Jock Landale, who's the backup center in Houston. 6 for Looney and another 6 for Looney. So you're seeing not just these centers hit their assist prop, but they're going well over their assist prop. So, and I wouldn't really even consider Kevon Looney like a great passer. He does a good job of finding those openings when he's in the paint. But you have a guy like Chet Holmgren who is a little bit more skilled with the ball in his hands, and I just think this is a good line to attack. I would even like it at 10, to be honest with you. But we're getting it at 9.5, so we're going to take the under at 9.5 for Chet Holmgren. Rebounds and assists for our first play of the day. All right, second play of the day. Let's talk about LaMelo Ball, 27.5 points. I like the over on this one. I told you we're going to be looking at some big lines in today's video. All right, and as we head over to props.cash, I have his points prop pulled up, but I want to show you a couple of different screens here. So this is the normal screen. You can see that he's hit 30 and 34 in his last 2 games. Now, I want to factor Terry Rozier out. So I want to take a look at games played without Rozier. So the last 5 games played without Rozier. Now, obviously, this is going to go back into last season, but the last 5 games played without Rozier on the floor, we've seen LaMelo Ball take a huge increase in point production. So 23, 25, 28, 30, 24. Those last 3 games absolutely get it done today versus the Wizards. Now, let me go ahead and unfilter this so we can look at present day stats. He just played this Wizards team, put up 34 on them. He also was able to bring down 4 rebounds, 7 assists for a total of 45 PRA, steals and blocks, just one of those, and turnovers. He had 6. Now, LaMelo is a high usage player, so anytime you have a high usage player, you should expect a fair amount of turnovers. However, usually they do enough to make up for those turnovers, unless you're Paulo Banchero. So LaMelo Ball is in another good spot. He's playing the same team he just played, who he put 30 plus points on. I understand that this line doesn't look the best in terms of the odds. It's kind of a coin flip right here, but this 27.5 points just makes me feel like there is not enough focus being put into the fact that Rozier is off the court, and when Rozier is off the court, LaMelo Ball really takes it to the next level. So I'm really liking what I'm seeing for this point prop. Again, if you don't like this point prop, if it's too high for your liking, you can definitely ignore it and play another play that we'll talk about in today's video. But for me personally, I like his 27.5. I like taking the over on it, and that is what we're going to do for our play number 2. All right, third play on the board. Now, this one changed, but I still like it. I originally had Derek White's blocks and steals, which has been kind of a wagon. Then that got taken off the board. Then I looked at his rebound prop and noticed that it had been bumped from 3.5 to 4, but I still like it at 4. I'm going to show you why. So on props.cash, they still have it at 3.5. So this was the original line. It was getting good odds to go over, minus 125 to go over, but it has since been bumped to 4. So we can go ahead and mirror that and see that over his last 5 games, he's gone over in 2 games. He's pushed in 1 and gone under in 2. Now, this is a good spot for Derek White versus a Brooklyn team that is, I mean, they are not a strong defensive team, to be honest with you. They're a little banged up. They're not completely healthy. I mean, Ben Simmons is playing, or Ben Simmons has been ruled out. You also have Cam Thomas out today. So they're having a hard time keeping bodies on the floor. Derek White is just too active of a player. He will find a way to grab rebounds. He is a hustle player. And at the end of the day, when you look at the stat line, you see that he has 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 10 points, 2 blocks and steals. His fantasy points are always in play, but I do like the over on his rebound prop today. Now, his history versus Brooklyn, we could take a look at that as well. He has 4 games versus Brooklyn where he's gone under just 1 time. He's pushed 1 time, but when he hits for twice as many. So 7 in the first game, or 7 in the second game, and then 10 in that third game. So yeah, just this whole game environment really does make me like the over for Derek White. I don't know if we see a huge eruption of points for him. I feel like this might be a Tatum game, but in terms of rebounds, in terms of just getting, getting those second chances for his team, I think he can get it done for us. So 3.5 rebounds, I loved it. 4.5 rebounds, I like it. I'll still take the over on it, and that is going to be our third play for today. All right, last play of the day. Let's talk about a Joel Embiid points prop sitting at 29.5. I like the over on this one. This one is a huge line. Let's talk about it over on props.cash. All right, here we are over on props.cash. Let me go ahead and switch this out. I've been trying to work on my Joel Embiid impression. The post-game conference last year in the playoffs where they lost to, I guess they lost to Boston, and they were asking him, and he just kept saying, "I gotta play better. James gotta play better. We gotta play better as a team." I'm gonna get better at it, but better. I gotta be better. Deep inside, he was like, "I gotta get James off my team." All right, let's talk about Joel Embiid. 29.5 points. This is a huge number. We are getting positive odds for the over on this one. We see his projection is over 30 points here. We can see that his numbers versus Detroit over the last 2 games, that's all we got to go on here. He goes over once, he goes under twice, or under once and over once. But here's something that is not in these stat lines, something that's not in these lines. So Embiid is coming off a game versus Boston where he had a very good game, but we didn't really see that dominant performance. They were able to do enough to kind of suppress the overall production of Embiid. 10 points, 10 rebounds, 27 points, 4 assists for a total of 41 PRA. So he goes, under a lot of props despite his very good performance. This feels like a game where we just see it go up a little bit against the Pistons team that is hurting. They're hurting right now. They're going through a lot of injuries, and I just don't see anybody on that team that is able to keep Embiid from doing basically what he wants to do. I mean, we may see 20 free throw attempts from him in this game. He'll have guys like Isaiah Stewart attempting to slow him down, Jalen Duren, I don't know, maybe Marvin Bagley. Do they knock the dust off of James Wiseman? It doesn't matter. Those don't sound like names that are going to stop Joel Embiid from having a 30-point game, which is what we need from him today. I love the position he's in. I love the projections that we're seeing. I love the odds that we're getting on the over here. And I just like the fact that he's coming off a game where he probably wanted to do more. He probably wanted to play better, but the team won, and that's more important to him. Now he gets to face a team that is not as good as Boston. I think that's safe to say. Detroit isn't as good as Boston. Now he gets to face a team in the Detroit Pistons who I think he can really eat versus. So for all that being said, I really just like the over here, what I'm seeing from Embiid. I understand it is a very big point line, but that's why it's so high, because he's capable of hitting it. He is capable of putting up 40 points tonight. So for our fourth and final play of today's video, we're going over 29.5 points for Joel Embiid. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for today's video. A little longer than my typical videos. 4 plays. I like to go break them down. I like to take my time, not too much time. I like to take my time when breaking these plays down. I like to give you a little bit more than just this is a lock, or oh, you got to play it. I want to give you a little bit more. So these videos do take a little time. If it's not your thing, I completely understand it. That's why I provide the chapters in the video so you can skip and move around at your leisure. But if you made it this far, if you made it to the end, thank you so much. Considering dropping a sub on the channel, consider liking this video, clicking that bell icon so you get notified of all upcoming content. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you like on the board, as well as your thoughts on these 4 plays that we talked about in today's video. Think about sharing this channel with somebody you know. Think about sharing this video with somebody you know. And last but not least, no matter who you roll with, my props, your own props, I hope that they all respect the damn coin. Best of luck to you all. And until my next NBA player prop video, Chavez is